As a social worker, I've seen a lot of things. Part 2. The residents there valued their privacy to a fault, cultivating a culture where nobody ever looked over their fences, and of course, nobody cared what happened to the people living right next door. You could collapse on your front lawn in this neighborhood, and the passing cars would simply drive around you to avoid getting involved. I parked my car along the curb. It was a bright, cloudless afternoon. The street was lined with massive oak trees and perfectly trimmed hedges. I walked up the driveway toward the elderly woman's house. The property stood out immediately because it felt entirely lifeless. The lawn had grown completely out of control, the bushes were overgrown and tangled, and a massive pile of circulars and junk mail covered the front porch. Before approaching the door, I noticed a man washing his expensive car in the driveway right next door. I walked over to the property line holding my identification badge clearly in my hand. "Excuse me, sir," I called out, keeping my tone polite and professional. "I am a social worker with the county. I am trying to check on your neighbor. Have you seen the elderly woman who lives in this house recently?" The man did not bother to turn off his hose. He barely glanced in my direction, keeping his eyes focused on the soapy water running down his windshield. "I mind my own business," he replied dismissively. "I have not seen anyone come out of that house since last autumn." "Has anyone come to visit her?" I pressed, trying to gather any useful context. "Family members, grocery deliveries, anything at all?" "I said I mind my own business," the man repeated, turning his back to me entirely. "If she is dead in there, call the police. Do not bother me with it." I thanked him for his time, realizing I would get no help from the surrounding community. I walked back over to the property and stepped onto the front porch. As I stood on the porch, I noticed something deeply unsettling about the house. The large picture window facing the street was completely opaque. I stepped closer to examine the glass. Every single pane of the window had been meticulously covered from the inside with thick layers of newspaper and dark construction paper. Someone had used thick strips of duct tape to seal the edges of the paper directly against the window frame, ensuring that not a single sliver of sunlight could penetrate the glass. I stepped off the porch and walked around the side of the house, checking the secondary windows. They were all identical. Every window on the ground floor was aggressively sealed against the outside world.